Welcome back. If it has joined us, watching the news at 10, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Former Abia State Governor Ojuzo Kalu blames IPOB for taking its agitations for self-determination too far. Insisting restructuring remains the only viable tool to address all agitations in the country. About 50 people are feared dead after a boat carrying traders capsizes in Kiri village in Munya local government area of Niger State. President Muhammadu Buhari leaves for New York to attend the 72nd session of the United Nations General Assembly, which kicks off on Monday. And U.S. Secretary of State says U.S. President Donald Trump is open to staying in Paris Accord on climate change, given the right conditions. For more on our top stories and others, please visit our websites channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. You can also watch us on the go on your mobile device. Log on to m.channelstv.com or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Having the Channels TV and Channel 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You'll also have access to the Eyewitness feature with which you can be part of the news. Install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions to share those pictures that you'd love to let us know about. And so you sent in some pictures, so let's take a look at some of them. We'll begin with this one from Mohammed Namadi Sambo Way in New Karimo District, Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, where we see a clean lawn, which our Eyewitness reporter says was cleared after he reported it here on Eyewitness. He thanks men of the Abuja Municipal Area Council for clearing the grass, but calls on them to clear the parts left. From Kaduna comes our next image showing the Kaduna State Governor, Mr. Nasir El-Rufai, controlling traffic. Our next image is from Lekki here in Lagos, showing children whom our Eyewitness reporter says are physically challenged on the streets begging. He wants the state government to discourage the practice anywhere in the state. The final image is from Makurdi, Benue State Capital. We see a dump site. It's really an ugly sight to see. According to Eyewitness reports, it's just an epidemic waiting to happen. He wants it cleared as quickly as possible. Thank you for sending in those pictures, and please keep them coming. Now, the president has departed from Abuja for New York in the U.S. to join other world leaders at the 72nd United Nations General Assembly. Our State House correspondent Ibrahim Adra reports that President Muhammadu Buhari's aircraft lifted off from the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport at exactly 10:40 a.m. President Buhari is expected to participate in the general debate, during which he will deliver the country's national statement. The theme for this year's debate is focusing on people striving for peace and a decent life for all on a sustainable planet. President Buhari is also expected to discuss the repatriation of Nigeria's stolen funds when he takes the podium on Tuesday. No fewer than 50 persons have been reportedly killed in a boat mishap that occurred in Kiri village in Munya local government area of Niger State. Eyewitnesses told Channels Television that the victims had boarded a canoe heading back from Zumba Market in Shiroro local government area of the state when the accident happened. There are feelers that the accident may have been caused by a heavy rainstorm experienced in the area. The Director General, Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Ahmed Ibrahim, who confirmed the incident, says there were 60 passengers on board.
Okay, these are local people coming to one local market at Zumba Kwata, in Shiruru local government area of Niger State. And they are coming from Kuduru village, which is in Kaduna State. And so far, 17 people were rescued, 12 are still missing, and one dead body is still. To attribute to the incident the high level of rainfall, so the river bank overflows and they're on the water. Maybe they go against the tide, and that is what makes the accident. Yeah, NEWS.CM, we've been on sensitization campaign, not even on water. People living around the water area, river bank, if you move back, because we've gotten the red alert that possibly Niger or Chad will open their waterways. So we've been on campaign.
Well, President Buhari is expected any moment now in New York to attend the UN General Assembly, the 72nd UN General Assembly, where he's expected to make a statement to the nation, bordering on the nation's stolen funds, when he takes the podium on Tuesday to address the Assembly. He will also be having a meeting with the U.S. President Donald Trump on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly. Our correspondent, Gloria Mezuke, reports.
United Nations headquarters here in New York, where 193 world leaders are expected to gather for the 72nd session of the United Nations General Assembly, which kicks off in earnest on Monday, the 18th of September, 2017. The President of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, who departed the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in the early hours of today, is expected to arrive 7 p.m. local time. He will be lodging at the Millennium Towers opposite the United Nations headquarters. Well, we can tell you that apart from the governors, 7 ministers will equally accompany him on the trip, which would be his third appearance since assuming office in 2015. The area, as you can see, has been cordoned off as security is heightened around here. As the president addresses the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday, many are hopeful that this will bring immense dividends for Nigerians back home. For now, at the Nigerian Mission House, it is buzzing with a lot of activities in preparation for the president's arrival. We'll bring you more details as it unfolds. From New York, United States, Gloria Umezuke, Channels Television News.
Back here in Nigeria, over 1 month after flood ravaged some communities in Rivers State, the residents can now heave a sigh of relief. That's because the Rivers State government has delivered building materials, food items, mattresses and other relief materials to over 2,000 affected persons. Although some are still counting their losses resulting from the destruction of property, others believe government intervention will enable them get their lives back. Our correspondent Emmanuel Ire reports.
This young man is trying to create a good situation out of a bad one. Fishing in the waters that have ravaged this community. Elsewhere, some youths also try to make some change for themselves by providing services in their flooded areas. This is a situation after flood ravaged Eneka, Rukboku and Rumigbo communities in Obiakpo local government area of Rivers State over a month ago. Residents have no options but to wade through the flood. Where they have not constructed a makeshift wooded bridge, they wear boots, but the dangers are imminent.
As you can see, we do not know where these weeds came out from. Snakes, reptiles, mosquito, all over. Almost everybody that is here have packed out.
Told us how python came out from their house. And you know, everybody knows what python is. It's a dangerous animal. So we pray that government should come to our aid.
But now, help is on the way. Residents of the affected communities, some of whom are already displaced, are gathered at the State Secretariat at the instance of the state government.
Some officials, they came, like Engineer Obuga, they came, they visited our areas. As I'm speaking to you, there are some areas where, as tall as I am, and if I stand, you will not even see my head.
The Permanent Secretary of Special Duties and Instructions from the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike leads the representatives of the people to truckloads of relief materials. For the Permanent Secretary, these items are not the end of government's intervention.
As you know, flood is a disaster which displaces residents and subjects them to untold physical, emotional, psychological, and even spiritual trauma. That is why government that cares for her citizens has made this effort to alleviate the hardship faced by people in this circumstance.
I'm highly overwhelmed for this gathering. Her deputy have provided for me and my people. I think I say God who have done this through them will bless them.
Rising water levels resulting to flooding in some parts of the country and the world have been described by experts as effects of global warming. The call is for various governments to be proactive. Emmanuel Irei, Channels Television News.
More countries are waking up to the realities of the effects of climate change at the 5th General Assembly of Man and Biosphere. Experts from across the continent converged on Nigeria to find solutions to ecological problems plaguing African countries.
Climate change is real. The effects are all around us. Harvey, Irma are recent pointers. Here in Nigeria, several representatives from 28 countries in Africa, Europe, UNESCO's headquarters, are visiting Ibadan, southwest of the country, to discuss the future in environmental conservation, remedies to natural disaster, and the Lake Chad Basin.
Nigeria is going to join UNESCO and the neighboring countries in creating a transboundary biosphere reserve around Lake Chad to build peace and to build a livelihood again, which is sustainable for the people. I think then we're on a good way.
Nigeria's Minister of Environment is hosting and is quick to admit that climate change is as real as it is scary and tells his guests the plans of the federal government.
You've seen in the last couple of weeks the flooding in Benue State, in Lekki recently, in Niger State, in part of Sokoto. I've been to all these areas and I've seen the devastating consequences of flooding. Some of them are long term. For instance, in the Benue, the river Benue has silted. Therefore, it needs a long-term plan to dredge and make sure that the canals are open and deepened so that it will contain much water instead of spreading it across and causing devastating flood.
The project coordinator at the Forestry Reserve Institute relates the initiative to the Global Agenda 2030, Sustainable Development Goals 13 and 14.
It's also a platform for partners and donors who are being around and those who are following on social media to know where African challenges are, where there is need to bridge the gap. So they now know where to put their money, support, or partnership.
The participants also shared their thoughts.
Well, you know, without the ecosystem, there is nothing in the future. So we're talking about the environment and the climate change. So Biosphere Reserve is the key, one of the key instruments under the relationship between the environment, the humans, and the communities living within that. So MAP is made in order to do that and to generate incomes and revenue for those people who are within the Biosphere Reserve. And I think it will contribute not only for the community within that, but for the global climate change goals and activities we are doing.
Man and Biosphere, which is the concern of this gathering, is aimed at promoting a better interaction between human activity and the planet for a safer future.
When the News at 10 returns, the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, challenges distribution companies to step up the network capacity to enable more consumers access to electricity. Do join us again.